Although it may seem paradoxical amid the race for technological supremacy, the emergence of new technologies can be a driving force for international cooperation, aimed at laying the foundations for how a democratic society should function, placing respect for the rule of law and the protection of fundamental rights and freedoms at the forefront when using new technologies that could put these essential aspects at risk. On this path, the international community should focus its efforts on bridging differences and finding points of agreement to foster consensus for the ethical development of new technologies and the effective protection of citizens. For instance, in the domain of artificial intelligence, a certain international consensus has been reached on the principles that should guide the development and use of this technology. But there is still fragmentation on how to implement these principles depending on the applicable jurisdiction, and also, one must wonder about the lost opportunity it may represent for the future if these international agreements do not become binding, with consequences for inaction or lack of compliance. Moreover, the search for new solutions may also mean giving up paying attention to some of the traditional tools, so to speak, that the international community has been relying on to promote international cooperation. For example, the creation of international standards, free from the political bias that nowadays is invading all the aspects and conversations related to technological governance, or even the defense of open source development without overloading it with regulations that may restrict its nature and impede it to effectively become an engine of international collaboration. Finally, one of the main concerns that will remain is the interoperability of regulations and the consequent protection of citizens, who could be subject to different jurisprudential criteria depending on the applicable legislation. In this regard, the question arises as to whether an international body with multinational representation could be the solution for safeguarding the ethical principles that must be present in any mechanism for the governance of new technologies.